We're gonna get everything up and running here on our end, and I'm gonna put the music on while I get everything up and going, and then we'll get started with the interview about what's going on this week at Boom Church. So, with that said, enjoy the music and just give us time to get everything up and running here. Woo! Rebirth, rebirth. Sometimes we focus on them curses, but the promises put fire in your soul.
Fire, fire, fire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fire in my soul.
So much fire.
Fire, fire, fire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fire in my soul.
Shut up in my bones.
Fire, fire, fire. Fire in my soul. The promises to Zion, they put fire in my soul. What's this? Got y'all all turned up. Tell me what's going on. So many Israelites searching who they are and preparing to go home.
Yeah, I just
Wait a
finished the
minute,
music.
I thought this was home, but you speak of another place. We in the land of our enemies in captivity, but the gathering is taking place. Fire, 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 fire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fire in my soul.
So much fire.
Fire, fire, fire.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Fire in my soul.
Shut up in my bones.
Fire, fire, fire. Fire in my soul. The promises to Zion, they put fire in my soul. Ever since I woke up and finding what belongs to me, I want my crown and my robe like the saints of old, my legacy and history. Wait a minute, I thought you was the children of slaves, but you're telling me you're kings and queens. We the chosen of Yah, the apple of his eye, the original royalty. Fire.
Shalom, y'all. If y'all just tuning in, I got Pastor William Majors Brown here. We're getting ready to get started on an interview here in a couple minutes. We're just getting everything up and running. We're going to be discussing what's going on at Boom Church this weekend and anything else that William Majors Brown has going on.
Flames in the members, Ruach contained in our members. Ruach Jeremiah, cause it shut up in our bones. Can't sleep so deep like it came in syringes. Why? Cause our king is tremendous. Most high, zero contenders. Hallelujah, Abaya, Yahusha, Yahuda, Yahuda. Get them hands up in the sky.
Yeah, 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 yeah. 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 Yeah, yeah, yeah,
No,
yeah.
listen, like,
Yeah, 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 yeah. 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 Fire, fire, fire.
All right, shalom, y'all. Shalom is Brother Michael Israel here, and I'm here with Williams Major Brown. And shalom, Majors.
Shalom, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm doing good. If you could, man, tell everybody what's going on at Boom Church this weekend here in Jacksonville.
Definitely we got our service this weekend. It's gonna be awesome. We'll be having a service here, 1418 Van Buren Street. We hold our services at 12 p.m. This Saturday. We're here every second and fourth Saturday, Shabbat, at Solid Rock Baptist Church. Big shout out to Reverend Randy Sewell, who definitely a supporter of the ministry and allows us to be able to have service there. But other than that, I'm just excited, man. This weekend we got also phenomenal lesson. We're going to be getting into breaking down the book of Galatians. And we're going to deal with the first two chapters, and then we're just going to break that down and lay the foundation. I think it's very important for us to just definitely get back into the scriptures. Look at definitely Paul's letters, because Paul is one of those type of brothers that has caused a lot of confusion, or I'm not going to say he caused a lot of confusion, but people have used him to cause a lot of confusion. I have a slogan saying "Free Paul," and I've been putting out there because he's America's most wanted. I think a lot of the issues of dealing with our beloved brother is really happening more so on this continent versus outside of America. I don't think that they have a lot of major issues with a lot of his letters. But here in America, it's a major issue in pretty much in any form of westernized colonization. There's a lot of major issues when it comes to his letters. There's a big divide. I think that we should read his letters as such. But I believe that the Torah is infused in it because he has to give a level of wisdom would come from that. But I also understand that dissecting his letters, he does give his opinion on certain things. I don't think those opinions goes against the Father in any way.
If you could, something I want you to speak on a little bit, because I was talking to Josh about, he brought this to my attention, and then it actually happened to me. Somebody messaged me about it, that there's Hebrews, this is like the new thing, these Hebrews going around, and they're saying that they're not that we're not under the law. Have you seen that one?
Yes, I've actually been seeing that a lot. I know I was going to get with some of the brothers and leaders and kind of have a discussion about this. You know, a lot of the Hebrews who are awakening to their heritage, but all while at the same time still or promoting the fact that we're no longer under the law. I think that there has to be a thorough breakdown and understanding of what you mean by we're not under the law, which means that, you know, if there's no guideline for us to live by, I think that by reading the book of Romans, it gives us a thorough understanding that what part of the law we're not under when you start talking about the law of sin and death. There's two different understandings. There's the law of sin and death which entered into the world through Adam, and then there's also the law of grace or righteousness in which the Father had instituted in the earth before Moses was even in existence. So I think that oftentimes this law, as First John speaks about, I write no new commandment to you, but I give you one that is not new, but one from the beginning. And we started talking about back in Genesis when the law was given to Adam, when he simply told him, "Thou shalt not." That same "thou shalt not" was also in the beginning before there was even a word written on stone. This word was oral, given to him, and it was passed down. Henceforth, the reason why the earth was destroyed by water, because the people at that time who understood that still refused to follow that, and therefore the only person who was spared by grace, which is not a new thing in the New Testament. Grace was even in the Old Testament. Noah found grace in the sight of Yah. And so we start looking at that. We understand that there's nothing new under the sun, even when it comes to the principles of righteousness.
Another thing, if you could, because me and you talked earlier, and I was telling you how when I was teaching my lessons earlier, there were some people on there that all right, hold on one sec. All right. Yeah, there's some people that live in the area, and they're not aware of events going on around them. Talk about some of the people who come out to these events, some of the distances they travel from, if you could, and also the importance of it. If these events are going on in your region, not necessarily your state, but in your region, the importance of coming out.
I think it's very important to come out. You get a chance to meet a lot of brothers and sisters, get a lot of perspective, understanding. Some people travel, especially many of the events that we've had recently. James 1-on-1 was the biggest event. We had people all the way from Vegas, Delaware. I mean, traveling from all over, and the experience is totally different when you're watching it online versus actually being a part, because they don't get a chance to talk to a Micah Israel person. You know, they don't get a chance to ask questions or meet other sisters who may have dealt with some of the same issues they dealt with. So it goes beyond just hearing the speakers, watching the speakers. It goes beyond the performances. But it's you witnessed it. It's a community thing. You know, when we come back to someone's house, it's 100 people in a house, and the spirit is moving, and everybody's just fellowshipping and vibing. You know, that's something that you can't get by watching it online. And that's why we try to make sure that it's affordable by paying $0. And I think that's something also that we have to talk about eventually too as well, is when you know when it's great ground and you know that the spirit is there and the Father is with something, that we should all understand in order to make sure things remain free and the great quality, that we should invest into something that's kingdom, that has fruit.
Yep.
But I think that at the end of the day, it's very important for us to come out in fellowship and assemble with one another. And oftentimes too, when we assemble and the spirit is there, because we all don't know everything. All right. And I think that we should get to a place to be even more transparent as Hebrews, to even let people know, hey, listen, we all don't know everything. Not one of us know everything. And but we can learn from one another in certain areas. And if it's a non-salvation issue, then why beef over that? And just continue to work out our differences when it comes to salvation, get an understanding. If it's a salvation issue, we deal with it. If it's not, then I don't have time to even argue about that.
Exactly. And the main thing is just having that, and something that I experience at all the events I go to is that spirit of brotherhood, where everybody just has a personality to get along, not a warfare personality to always argue and debate stuff, you know.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I see people were asking about the address, and it's well, I'll put the flyer up again. And it's just like the importance of coming out to the events. When Majors puts this event on here in Jacksonville, when he has service here in Jacksonville, and it's twice a month, right?
Yes, the 2nd and 4th in Jacksonville every month, the 2nd and 4th Saturday of every month, and it's the 1st and 3rd Friday of every month in Atlanta.
Oh, okay. And like I said, I know on my own from being there, I've seen people, like I said, they're coming from Carolina, driving down here. I don't know how many hours that is. And then you were just telling me about a brother coming from Pensacola, you said, was it?
The brother reached out, a white brother.
Mm-hmm.
He's coming from Tallahassee.
So from Tallahassee. So
yeah.
And it's just understanding it's important to come to these events and just make those connections, and I mean, it goes a long way. You have to experience it. I saw one of the sisters in here. She had asked a question earlier. I guess you're in the tri-state area in New Jersey. Just stay tuned because I met a bunch of people when I was up there in New Jersey. It's 3 different groups up there. So I'm going to be interviewing them all, getting it out there. One of them was the sister Nefesh or whatever with the Aminta thing. So, you know, if you see them out there, you can reach out to them because they're in that tri-state area. All right, Majors. Now, the other thing we talked about, you got an album you're working on that you're going to be releasing some tracks here soon. Can you talk about that a little?
Yeah, I'm gonna release an EP, which is like 5 to 6 songs. I released the album last year and whatnot, and so which was a pretty dope album that a lot of people liked and whatnot. And so it was awesome to release that, the Handwriting on the Wall. And so this week coming up, I'm planning to release No Apologies, which is an EP with about 5 records, and I'm just kind of like going in on some things, just being that the side of me that I suppress a lot. And so I'm gonna be releasing that, you know, the unleashing the hope per se when it comes down to that side of myself, and just dealing with a lot of things that I don't express enough of when I'm teaching, because being a pastor, you can't just say certain things, and you have to always take into consideration of people watching you.
Yeah.
But when it comes down to the music, you know, that's kind of a different perspective as a rapper who raps the gospel. I think that it gives room for those type of expressions, shall I say.
Yeah. And if how can people when you release the EP, how can people get those tracks and get that?
It's either going to be released on Noise Trade or Bandcamp. More than likely, it'll probably be on Bandcamp. I probably put it up there on Bandcamp. So once I release it, of course, I'll put it on my page. I'll put it on the Boom Church page, but also on my personal page as well.
Okay.
I'll put that out there, and then I'll promote it. Of course, you'll see it, and more than likely, it'll be probably on my personal page, my personal music page, the Real Majors. And I'll probably run some advertising and stuff like that for it.
Okay.
Other than that, of course, if time permits, of course, I'll be on Spiritual Combat as well, dropping the link, and we'll go from there. But you'll have the advertising from somewhere to be able to get it.
Okay, that's awesome. That's awesome. All right. Was there anything else you wanted to bring out?
No, just James 101 coming up. Also, next year, 2019, which is going to be bigger than it was in 2018. Working on some things, but also we're trying to get because there's a lot of chaos going on with a lot of the pastors, a lot of the Christian pastors who are trying to lump all the Hebrews in one category. Yeah. So we're working on the end of the month. I'm working on putting together something to address some of the major statements that are incorrect about every Hebrew Israelite and what they believe and all these different things. So I'll be getting with some of the leaders, and we'll be talking about, I know Brother Zadok Ben Israel, he reached out, and so I've been thinking about something anyway, but he reached out after he saw the short breakdown of what I did with this G. Craig Lewis thing, and just kind of did a little commentating on it. And I think it is time for us as balanced Hebrews to address some of these things. Because we're the side that they don't want you to know about, nope. Shall I say?
And then the other thing is they don't want to talk to us either.
Absolutely, they don't.
I've never seen people say things and then sidestep actually talking face to face so much. I mean,
well, I think what it is that the blueprint that they have, it doesn't work for us, and so they realize that it's like. You can't, all of the talking points and the questions they want to ask, you can't ask us because we don't fit that mold. Yeah. And so therefore, it's going to be a lot of sidestepping and we're not going to be angry. We're not, all of these are the talking points and blueprint that they have. Oh, they get angry, they cuss you out, they disrespect. No, we're going to talk to you polite, educated. Scriptures though. Yeah. And you're going to get this history and you're not going to be able to go around it. We're not going to give you room to say that we was mad. We're not going to allow you to pull the mad card, the angry black man card.
Yeah.
Not so. Of course, it's going to be a lot of sidestep, but there's a lot of pastors out here that are Christian who do want to have the conversation. Not the populace, but many of them do, and many of them start to open up now and have dialogue and say, "Okay, tell me about this." I think their fear is a lot of stuff that they see when they Google.
Yeah.
When they hear Hebrew, they automatically associate with what they Google and what they, and some of the pastors that they trust as so-called apologists that give them information. So therefore, they don't even want to talk to us or whatnot. So
yeah, and like you said, the people who are feeding them that information. But yeah, what I found is, all their, they lower their guard and everything once they see that. Hey, you're level-headed, balanced, you've studied the thing out and everything like that. I noticed a lot of them. So yeah, I and like I said, I don't put all those pastors, of course, in the same group. I take them as I see them come, but some of the stuff like that with that G. Craig Lewis thing, that I haven't seen the whole video. One of my boys sent it to me. I watched about maybe the first 5 minutes, and it was just too painful, man. I couldn't get through it. I was like, that it almost seemed like an agenda.
Yeah.
So you could go all into that one, but
absolutely. But definitely, man, thank you for the platform always, and look forward to to seeing, you know, more things going on within the community. I think that the Father's doing some great things and just bridging the gap between everybody and everybody working in their lane, which make everything even more great. Because we need a Hebrew CNN, you know, to give us the right perspectives and things of that nature. You know, the other day I was tripping because I was like, man, you know, I'm so used to seeing Harry doing interviews and Harry having conversations and dealing with people. It's the same thing. He's not going to admit it. So I'm like, no, we don't want to hear him no more.
I know. I've heard it from a lot of people, but you know something good is I found out I was unaware of a lot of stuff. I talked to Brother Dwayne yesterday, and he pointed me to a video to watch about their true agenda, and then it made everything clear about, you know, what's going on with all that. So, you know, but I think it was still win-win for us, you know. But
I think the benefit, though, I will say this, you know, to bring balance to the conversation. I think the benefit of having Harry, though, at least Harry will say, okay, y'all are the people, but we are too. You know, he kind of, you know, dances back and forth with that.
We call it the Harry Shuffle. We call it the Harry Shuffle.
The Harry Shuffle. But at least he's willing to admit it. You know, you can't even get some of our Christian brothers to even admit it. You know, but at least he will say, okay, yeah, you know, but he's still gonna leave in there. But you know, we are too. You know, if you can't get him to admit it all, at least he'll admit half of it.
Yeah. But yeah, definitely. But yeah, I look forward to attending the service tomorrow. And like I said, if y'all are in the area, if you're not in Jacksonville, if you're in the region, try to make it out there. It is, I'm telling you, it's worth it. You know.
Yeah.
It's definitely.
And that's the benefit of reason why we do twice a month. You know, because we know people are traveling.
Mm-hmm.
So, excuse me. We know people are traveling, so we try to, because there's a lot of people in the region that don't have a place to go, and a lot of them don't want to go to places that they deem or feel is not they don't have a connection to. So and it's like when you in a place and you don't have nowhere to go, it's like, okay, I don't have no place to fellowship, but you have someone an hour and a half away, you know. Trying to come every week can be costly, but twice a month is doable. You know what I'm saying?
Definitely doable. And brother asked, he said, what's the address in Atlanta for Friday service?
The address for Atlanta is 15 Blaylock Street, Atlanta, Georgia. 15 Blaylock Street, Atlanta, Georgia. If he send me a friend request, I definitely keep him updated. I put the flyers out all the time. So, yeah, it's 15 Blaylock Street, and we're a very balanced community. We believe in worship. The thing is, majority of the people who do come to our congregation, they know their heritage. So, you know, we don't spend a lot of time continue to tell you Israel, you know, but we definitely want to get into things historically when it comes down to understanding the scriptures from the background of it, because you're going to be dealing with a lot of people who's going to try to come against you, especially dealing with Paul letters. I think that's a major area that we need to have an apologetic on, and a major area that we need to really dissect and have a biblical hermeneutic, as seminary term used, to be able to give an understanding of why we believe what we believe and why we believe that the law, I thank the Father again for delivering us from the curse of the law, but not from the law itself, because the law is a guideline to show us how to treat one another. And we follow over 600,000 laws in our city, you know, let alone, and then we start tripping on him about these couple of laws. Now stop it. We gotta stop.
So yeah, y'all, that's this is William Majors Brown, Boom Church, Jacksonville. Services tomorrow at 12 p.m. Y'all see the flyer up there right now. It's 1418 Van Buren Street, Jacksonville, Florida. I'm going to be there. So y'all should too, you know. Definitely come out and link up with the family. But with that said, I'm Michael Israel. You watching Spiritual Combat. I hope this was informative. And with that said, shalom, y'all.
Shalom.